So welcome everyone again on this international call. I'm going to make it short. I'm going to speak about my guests a little bit later on. But when I start this international presentation, I always go back about 20 years in time. Somebody recommended me a few books that I read, and they were from Paul Zane-Pilzer. Paul Zane-Pilzer was talking about the future he saw, not only economically, but also about the wellness industry, about health, new trends, new mega tendencies. And he said that the number one business opportunity for the future will be to educate consumers about products and services that will improve their lives. Now, what he really meant was identify a serious problem that affects a lot of people. Find or create an effective solution, cost effective as well, to this problem, and stay ahead of the competition. Now, what we for sure have learned the last years is identifying a serious problem. We went through something globally, and all the world knew about it, and we were running around with masks, and some people got vaccines, but we didn't really find the solution yet. But what we were doing was teaching and educating people up to even a subconscious level on how to be tested over and over again. I think I got this little stick with the cotton on top of it about 150 times in my nose during that 2 years. In the beginning, it felt really annoying, but hey, what? After 2 years, well, it was normal. I had to fly, I had to go in a hotel, I needed to be tested. But I will believe that these kinds of tests, for whatever purpose they serve, will become more and more common, and people will actually prefer to be tested to know than not to know. Now, we're going to talk about two things today. We're going to talk about a new megatrend, what it is, and how can you take part in this. Now, my guest speakers of tonight, well, we're missing one. Hakan from Turkey fell into the Bosporus. No, I'm joking. He couldn't make it. He had an urgent call. He had to take a team call, so he will not be speaking. But I have with me Kęstutis from Lithuania, but living in Portugal since a couple of years, and Dr. Sven Goebel from Germany, living in Switzerland. Together, we have more than 100 years of network marketing on this call tonight. And not only myself, but they have worked in so many countries that it's way over 100 countries we've been to. We created teams of more than 1 million distributors, could be 2 or 3 million actually. And together, we combined billions of dollars in sales. Now, they're going to do their part a little bit later. What I want to say before I give the word to Kęstutis is that Zinzino is the world market leader for test-based nutritional supplements. It's a company that you all have to pay attention to. And my friend Kęstutis is going to take it away, after I've talked a little bit about the company. Now, we're a global health and wellness company from Scandinavia, founded by this lovely couple that went to look for a solution because of their own health-related issues. And finally, they found it. Today, we're in 45 countries worldwide. We deliver to more than 100. As you can see, we have offices, warehouses, sales directors in all these locations that you see on the card, on the map. But what is even more important, it's a fully transparent company. We're quoted on the NASDAQ Nordic. We're a public company. And as you know, a public company, the records are open. So there is no sales hype. The numbers are the numbers. And last year, we did 176 million in sales. But what is even more astonishing is that over the last 19 years, we have been growing every year. There was not a single drop. During the COVID, not even a drop. Increase after increase after increase. And that has to do with our concept, going from guest-based to test-based nutrition. And if you know that more or less 500 million people are already consuming omega-3 and 1 billion people are consuming vitamins, you must know there is a market and there is an industry. But what we are bringing is disruptive. And in Europe, by the way, I'm in Europe, in Belgium, in Brussels, really the center, only 30% of the people don't consume anything. They just live by their fruit, their vegetables, their food, where all the rest, 70%, are taking supplements. And what is even more astonishing, that when you talk about the Zinzino concept, the balance concept of omega-6-3, well, when 100 people take the test, 97 of them fail the test. And my friend Kęstutis is going to bring up you this subject today, about the omega-6-3, the balance concept and the solution. And I'm going to let him switch to his slides. But I first, of course, need to appoint him as a co-host so he can do that. Go ahead, my friend.
Thank you, Danny. Sharing my slides here. Perfect. So just imagine for a moment, because today is a business presentation, right? So we are going to be talking about the product as a tool for the business, not just as a product. Then company as a tool for the business and your own efforts and your own opportunity. So look at this as from the business perspective. There is a problem in the world. 97% of every human being, so now 97 out of 100 people on earth, they have a deficit and they have imbalance of nutrients in their food, and now they have these deficiencies and imbalance in their cells. Now, independent laboratory proves that that's really true, as well as the independent laboratory proves that Zinzino solution is really functioning when a lot of other products, almost most of the products on the market are not. They are not returning people back to the norm, and Zinzino solution does. And you can offer that solution. Now, before I begin talking about the products, I just want very briefly to tell you that what kind of a product you want in business. As this mobile phone, I better say bye-bye to the money every month than lose the connection. This is the product you want in your business. Because if people want to pay the money instead of losing the product, the same with the shower. I hope you go to the shower every morning. I also do, and I pay for that every month, and I pay for the electricity, and that's exactly the product that we have. People do not want to say bye-bye to the product. Once they feel the difference, once they test the difference, this is an amazing business. So now, where does the problem come from? It comes from nutrition. Hundreds and thousands of years ago, Mother Nature, we can say that Mother Nature created the food that was on the planet. But today, we no longer can say that. Today, it's a combined production between nature and human beings. And human beings, they don't do everything the right ways. They do their ways. Actually, it's not just bad. There's good side in it, because when the Mother Nature was creating the food, it was starvation in Europe and people died from lack of food time to time. Today, there's overload of food. It's too much, too overproduction. But the problem is that food is unbalanced. We eat way too much of certain ingredients, especially sugars and some fats, but some nutrients are very low, like key nutrients, key vitamins, micronutrients, phytonutrients are very low. But that's number 3 problem. Number 2 problem is that we are low in fibers. So our gut has good and bad bacteria. Good bacteria eat prebiotic fibers. Now, if you lack prebiotic fibers in your food, then there's less and less good bacteria in your gut. And they're called good because they don't eat you. Even if they are lacking food, they just die. And then there is space for the bad bacteria. So if you lack fiber in your food, as most of the people does today, you will lack good bacteria in your gut. Bad bacteria will multiply, and bad bacteria, you are their food. That's why they are called bad. So they now are multiplying and they're eating your gut layers. That's a big problem. And that's problem number 2. Number 1 problem in food today is so-called fatty acids. And fatty acids is a fancy name, but you probably heard of omegas. And probably some of you maybe heard that there's some type of omegas called omega-3s, And that's an essential fatty acid, which means that if you run out of it, your body cannot produce it, you die. And if you run out of omega-6s, that's another type of fat. That's also essential fat. You die if you run out of it because your body cannot produce. So both are very important, but they have to come in the right balance. So the problem is that genetically our cells are programmed for 1-to-1 ratio, but in the history, it started going to this balanced state. Why? Because omega-6 is grain, corn, soy, and everything that grows on the ground. Now, grain, corn, and soy is a very cheap source of feeding the animals, feeding all the animals, including chicken and other birds, and including fish. Now, that's how we come to overload our food with omega-6, but that's not just that. We are overloading it with dry cereals in the morning that has no omega-3. We are overloading it with pizzas and pastas and cookies and pastry. And we today eat several times to up to 10 to 20 times more omega-6s and up to 3 times less omega-3. Now, the problem is, so today, if you check, the ratios are 15 to 16 to 1, 15 to 16 times more omega-6 than omega-3 in our food. Now, it wouldn't be a problem if those substances would not balance certain processes in our body, but it is a huge problem for the body because omega-6s increase inflammatory processes in all the cells and in all the organs and tissues of your body. Omega-3s, on the other hand, they decrease inflammation. So now you see the picture. If there is overload of omega-6, 15 times comparing to omega-3, it means 15 times more inflammatory processes than anti-inflammatory, which is not exactly the case. It's less than 15 times, but still it's a big, big problem for the body. Now, have you noticed that sometimes you wake up in the morning and you are very tired, although you slept the whole night? That might be one of the symptoms of lack of omega-3 and overload of omega-6. Or maybe you notice that your children are not concentrating their attention. They run around and you cannot stop them. Or you take the third cup of coffee in the middle of the day and there is still half of the day to go. And many other things. You do mistakes and you don't remember things. You start forgetting something. And that might be the symptom that your brain is lacking key nutrients, key ingredients that is produced of, and it starts having troubles and errors. Now, some of us also notice that we have pains in the back, in the joints, in the whole body. Now, inflammation transforms into pain. Everywhere you have inflammation, you will have pain. So too much pain in the body is one of the symptoms of bad balance between omega-6s and omega-3s. Now, maybe you notice that you start aging too fast. Your skin looks old, and you don't want that. You want to slow down this process. And that's also inflammation in the skin. The skin becomes thinner, it becomes with more wrinkles, it looks reddish, or it looks too dry, too fragile, and that's not what you want. So many organs and systems like cardiovascular system, if you have any deviations in the cardiovascular system function, that might be the symptom of omega-6 to omega-3 disbalance. And I could name again one more and one more and one more and one more symptoms. Now, don't be mistaken. The symptoms are vary from person to person because we have different weak points of the body genetically. So the weak points, the weakest points come out the first. And people have different. So we have very, very different variety of symptoms. Now, another thing is what you cannot see, but your cell membranes become rigid because of lack of omega-3 and way too much of saturated fat. And they cannot And the nutrients, the micronutrients, cannot enter the cells as efficient as they should. And the waste, the metabolites that are created in your cells cannot cross the membrane and go out. So your every cell in your body is hungry a bit and a bit intoxicated with their own metabolites, which is not something you would like to have in your brain, in your heart, in your organs and systems. So this is something that we strongly recommend. And now all the science is backing this up. So there's millions of studies now that say that this is the first thing you want to fix to live a long and healthy life. Now, you don't need to guess about it anymore. In the past, you would have had to guess, but today there are independent laboratories, and it's not just one independent laboratory. You may find several on the planet, and there's the number of those laboratories is increasing with every year. Now, they can test your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio from the cells in your body, from your blood cells. Now, this laboratory that I'm showing here is Vitas. We use this laboratory. Zinzino is just a customer for this laboratory. There's other customers like Harvard, Cambridge, Oxford, and many others. The laboratory is next to Oslo Innovation Center, next to Oslo Hospital, Clinical Hospital, and Oslo University. It's one of the well-known laboratories on the planet. So we just send blood to this laboratory and get the reports. And these are the tests that we do. So we do the HbA1c test. That's a blood sugar test. We test how good, how well your body controls the sugar levels in your blood. And if your sugar ever goes over the limit, we will see this on this test. Now, this is extremely important. Now, another test that we do is vitamin D test. That's most of the people on the planet are deficient of vitamin D. And that's a newest technology and it's done several times in the laboratory from that one drop of blood to be very, very accurate. Now, but the most important of all the tests is the balance test between the fatty acids. Now, when I did my first test, I was really embarrassed. Well, I was already a doctor, graduated as a doctor, worked with some of the best doctors in my country, and I had no clue this test existed. And I was a bit even angry on the medical profession and on the university that I was not informed about something that was going for decades before I found that out. And my test using omega-3 supplements was all red, not all red, but the main parameter was red. So I was really not happy to see that. And this scared me to death. If you can see here in the red square, EPA is one of the most important of all the omega-3s, and it was minus 74%. That's minus 3/4 of what I should have. It's 1/4 left. Just imagine a car that should have 4 tires on the wheels, and out of 4, it only has 1, and 3 wheels are on the metal. Now, how do you drive that car? And I had problems with health. I had all those pains in the back and in the joints, and I had asthma, and I had to take inhalers and pills. And that was my reality. It was getting worse with every year. And I thought I will live that way all my life. Now, when I checked the whole world, everywhere, in every corner of the world, the tests were terrible. Now, so this applies to most of the countries that we know. Now, is there a solution? Some of you may think, tomorrow I'm running to the next shop and I'm going to buy some omega-3. Don't be mistaken. If you do that, test yourself. And in most of the cases, what you will buy will not return you back to the balance. You need a certain solution for that is created to return you back to balance. And as Zinzino is selling the test of an independent laboratory, we can never sell something that doesn't function, because we will test people after 4 or 5 months of taking the product, and we will see if it really works or not. So the first solution for the problem is balance oil, balancing the fatty acids. The second is xenobiotic. That's the fiber for the gut that I was talking about. And the third is micronutrients, vitamins, and all phytonutrients. And the fourth here is shown is saffron. And saffron has a very powerful effect on the brain, that the brain, normal regulating the brain. If you feel a bit depressed or low mood, it may elevate your mood. And if you feel tired while sleeping, so in the morning you feel tired, you may sleep much better. So you should try it. It's just trying and seeing it with your own feelings and eyes. Okay, so now my second test was not green, and my third test was not green, and my fourth test, as I remember, was not green. I was not taking enough. I was a bit skeptical. But even with the second test, not yet green, I had already powerful effects on my health. I had to reduce the medication for my asthma, and I became better and better. And then I was committed to reach the fully green test. And now today, for the last 10 years, I'm not taking any medication. I'm feeling perfectly well. I feel better. That's true. That's actually true. That's not just a sales pitch. I'm feeling better than when I was 10, 15 years ago, but I was 15 years younger back then. So now we have all the certificates. It's approved for all the age groups, for toddlers, for pregnant women, for elderly people, for sport people. It improves all the performance parameters. And now we are partnering with many Olympic athletes and national athletes, with those that have teams of doctors and nutritionists. Because when we come with a test, now everybody has to move out, because when we test, we prove that most of the products that even Olympic athletes were taking were dysfunctional. Now, as we talk today about business, just think about this, as I told about the phone. Would you be willing to say bye-bye to this product and keep yourself sick with pains, with all the problems in your health? Or you would better say bye-bye to several euros every month to get those products to return you back to balance and keep yourself in balance and retest yourself. I sure am consuming those products every month, and I never want to return back to the red zone, as well as I'm keeping my family and my friends. And now I just started sharing it with the world, and now I have plenty of customers and partners everywhere in the world. And that became my number one income and the biggest business that I have ever created in my life. But that's just a warm-up. What's coming is gonna be so big that I'm sometimes even, I cannot say I'm scared to think about it, but my calculator in my brain sometimes is too small. So thank you for listening to me, Sven. I'm inviting you here on stage. Amazing day. And please share with us the business opportunity.
Very happy to do so. Thank you, my friend. Amazing as always. And I can only recommend you to really log on Thursdays, same time, productsthursday.online, and listen to Cash when he really goes deep based on his medical background and over 10 years experience with this wonderful company about this wonderful product concept. So I'm going to share my screen now for this keynote, because I'm going to talk to you about a little bit on how we do business and how the business model here in Zinzino works. Good. And you should be able to see this wonderful lady in jeans who says, "Let's begin." And if a woman looks at you like this and she looks like her, you definitely want to begin. Okay? We do the same thing. But first of all, before we talk about some numbers and we talk about the dynamics of how we build our business, let's agree upon what kind of business model we are actually using. And there's a famous book that has been written, I think, over 25 years ago by a guy called Robert T. Kiyosaki. And he's written a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And what he was describing in this book is that there's actually 4 different business models in a quadrant that can be compared to each other. And here's the differences of the 4 different business models, because everyone on this call is definitely going to be in one of them, maybe even in more of them. But usually most of the people are on the left side of the quadrant with the E, which is employee. We all know what it means to be employed by somebody. We have a job, we have to perform this job, and what we do is we trade time for money. And since time is limited, money is limited. The other part on the left side of the quadrant is the S quadrant. The S quadrant is the self-employed quadrant. Here we don't have a job. Here we own a job and still trade time for money, plus some extra hassle and headaches. Also here we hit the glass ceiling and time is limited. This is what happens on the left side of a quadrant. In the old days, many years ago, it was considered safe to be on the left side of the quadrant. Today, it might still be safe. You don't have as much control as you think, but what you definitely have to give up on the left side of the quadrant is total time freedom, because that's what you can only get on the right side of the quadrant. On the right side of the quadrant, on the book cover, you can see a B, that's for business owner. What you hear is you have built a duplicatable business system that is fully scalable, so that an endless amount of performance can produce the money. So it's not limited to the number of participants. It can be scaled unlimited. That means your income can also be scaled in an unlimited way. And the I quadrant, this is the investor quadrant. We all know what it means. We invest money for duplication, and hopefully, if it is a smart investment, our money creates more money without actively us having to work for it. Now, if you want to become one of these investors who have their money working for them, you need one thing beforehand, otherwise you will never be a good investor, and this is you need cash flow. You need a system or a business that does generate extra cash flow for you, which goes beyond your needs when it comes to living, and allows you to invest and multiply your money. And this is actually exactly where we are with this business model. This is why so many people do this business part-time, because it allows the family to get some extra cash flow so that they can do investments or just have a better lifestyle and a better life and a more secure life next to a full-time job. But on the other hand, this business model also allows people to pursue a full-time career. And of course, it can even create super top earners with 7-figure incomes a year. All this is possible in our business model, and the way how this works with Zinzino, I'm going to show you in the next remaining 10 minutes. First of all, one thing is clear. You cannot be good in something that you have never done before in your life. And therefore, the company has put up a lot of amazing support materials for you. For example, we have a digital marketing platform with innovative landing page. In the meantime, we've even improved it to a way that we can use every single page on our different web pages as a send to personalized landing page for customers and for partners. There is contract tracking, contract tracing. There is a GoCore app that provides hours and hours and hours of highly sophisticated training and training videos. It's just amazing, and it's all at our fingertips. And on top of that, we even have our own TV channel. We call it a TV channel because it's nothing short of that. And there's hundreds and hundreds of videos on there that we actually can use to send to people. And this is actually my favorite page because I use it all the time, because I want to work time effective and efficient. So I know that being in this business for many, many years now, that you actually most of the time get the same kind of question from various people. And you get tired over time to answer the same question very diligently over and over again. So my common answer has become over time, say, hey, great question, let me send you a video. And this video or these videos on there, they answer all these questions very diligently and also in many different languages. And the good thing about me sending a video as an answer shows the person who receives that video, oh, you know what? This was a simple answer, and I believe I can do this too. So we actively work with these videos, and we educate people through the videos, and it's very easy to send around and to duplicate, okay? It helps you a lot in various conversations. Next, what we have our black book, our Bible. That's our Express Start partner booklet, where we show people and where people actually can follow a lot of instructions on how to run the system. All the business and all the business information, including QR codes that send you to deeper sources if you want to know more, are included in the book. It's over 260 pages. It's a real workbook. Every partner in Zinzino works with this book, and it has, I don't know how many chapters it has. It's maybe 15, 16. I haven't counted them yet. I haven't even watched it. I just know it's 260 pages. Don't know how many chapters are in there, but at least it's all chapters important concerning all business needs and all business subjects. Wonderful. And you get that in your start package. Awesome, awesome tools. And with all these digital tools and physical tools, we help you to build an amazing business. Now, when it comes to the Zinzino compensation plan, the compensation plan does two things. It determines how we get paid and through what kind of bonuses and incentive we get paid, but it also drives behavior because it leads us into duplication. Because only when we duplicate, when we can show others, if they do the same than we do and we do it right, they will have the same kind of success. This starts to duplicate, and this works. And the compensation plan just drives that behavior next to paying us. Now, principally, there is 10 ways to earn money in that compensation plan. I'm not going to go in all the different 10 ways and explain it in depth because we have trainings for that, and there's, again, videos for that. But I just want to explain to you the principle and show you how to get started as best. Principally, what's important is we earn money from building our customer base. And of course, we earn money from helping people to build the distributor base, building our organization. That's the two ways on how we can share 10 different bonuses. What kind of business model are we talking about? Just to reemphasize, it is a perfectly balanced combination of network marketing, direct sales, and social selling, because we can do a lot online these days. We can do a lot from home these days because we are connected with people on social media platforms, preferably, hopefully, our valuable friends. And of course, we can talk a lot to them without having to drive hundreds of thousands of kilometers per year with our car and counting all these bucks on the windscreen. That's been in the old days, but today we can do so much from home, as you can see tonight, because Cash is sitting somewhere in Portugal, Danny is in Belgium, I'm in Switzerland, and yet we are in the same room together with you talking about this amazing business opportunity. And within just 2 decades, Zinzino was able to build 30,000 active partners and approximately, I would say, 750,000 to close to 1 million loyal customers. If it's not 1 million yet, it will be very soon. And that's an impressive average of 25 customers, active customers per partner, which is in itself a new record and a new standard in this entire direct sales industry. And the timing couldn't be more perfect because we are just at a state where we can say Zinzino has proven the concept. We have proof of concept. And what usually comes business-wise after proof of concept? Scalability, the mass market, awareness around the world, becoming a household brand. That's all ahead of us. And that's what Cash meant when he says, we've built a tremendous business already, but I cannot believe what's even ahead of us. So the timing to get started with this opportunity could not be better. When it comes to the compensation plan, we talk about a dual compensation plan. Dual is because we have our own career path for building a customer structure. And you can see building a customer organization a little bit like an affiliate program. An affiliate program that already pays very well. And that's very interesting for people who are anyways in the healthcare professionals, in the healthcare professions, for example, or in the sport community. This is very interesting for people who do work with a lot of patients and clients health-oriented people. They build massive amounts of customers. And you want these healthcare professionals, some of these people in your downline, of course, because it is a super solid foundation of turnover and, of course, of many people who use the products. And most necessarily, these people are not so keen to build a partner organization. But that's not a problem, because they can still make an amazing amount of money and a nice career, up to even the incentive trips, the 5-star incentive trips, where they can participate by not even have one person in their downline, just billing it through customers and pumping up the volume and the turnover from the customers. And it pays you up to 30% plus monthly fixed fees, plus one-time bonuses up to 10,000, plus, as I said before, incentive trips participation. So it's very nice to work the customer career plan, but that's nothing if you compare to the partner career plan, which has a lot of career positions. And that's where we talk about some different kind of business level, because it's not only the trips, it's participation in leadership councils, it is participation in ambassador trips, even more high scale, high level trips. It is about stocks, participations, becoming a co-shareholder of the company, and it is actually a journey towards freedom. So this is the 2 career paths we can take, and we don't have to decide between the 2, because we combine them intelligently. So the overlapping knot points, the crossroads between the 2 plans, are very intelligently blended into each other, so that we do both. We build our customer part and we build our partner part, and then these matches and create synergy in a way that 1 + 1 = 3. So that is very, very interesting. Now, let's talk about a little bit how you get started, and then we get back into how to start driving the plan you are seeing here right now. First step, and this is a very, very crucial thing, which, if you would work with me personally, has never been negotiable. It's a non-negotiable. And the non-negotiable is that I believe that if you work a company like ours, you have to be your first, your best, and your most loyal customer yourself. If you don't fully buy in the products and what they do, if you don't feel that these products are essential for your future, health-wise, and for the future of your loved ones, you're missing a very important point. And I would even say that if you would miss that point, you would not be able to communicate the value, the true value of the business to others. So there wouldn't be even a point for you to get started in this business. But once you get that, you have laid a very important foundation, because you are getting credible. Yeah, you are getting credible to other people, because you can tell them what you experienced with the product and how the balance oil brought you back in balance, because it works for 95% of the people from wherever they are with the balance test into being back in balance. And the other ones just need to take it a little longer, and then it works for them as well. We can get everyone in balance. That is so important, but you have to be credible, that you have to be seen by yourself in order to fully be able to communicate what kind of value we're taking around the world here. So what we do is, the first thing, you join and you select your first partner kit. We have 3 different options, 3 different sizes: a basic partner kit, an advanced partner kit, an ultimate partner kit. Of course, we do recommend the ultimate partner kit, because not only will there be a lot of tests that you can circle around with the people you talk to, there will also be a refund campaign. So if you have 25 customers in subscription within just 1 year, which is an easy task, it usually happens in the 1st or 2nd month, then you will get the full price of $11.59 refunded from the company. So you, in hindsight, had the products for free. You didn't have to pay for them even, right? And you still can keep the products and keep working with them. So it's a very fair offer, and that's why we actually do duplicate the ultimate package. Once you are in the checkout process and you chose the ultimate pack, before you check out, you select your set for free monthly auto order. That's a product you on top get for free every single month, in addition for your own use. And the 3rd step, that is what you complete, is you get your first 4 customer points. That doesn't mean you need to get 4 customers. You need to get somebody or a few people, or as many as you want, who have products on subscription. Every product on subscription with a customer is a customer point. So it is not head count, it is product count, which makes it much easier, because if you take a household who really believes in Zinzino, a household usually does between 10 and 15 products a month, which would equal 10 and 15 customer points. Now, when you consider what I said before, guess with what kind of household you would start? Very simple, with your own household, because you have to be credible. So you start doing your first 4 customer points yourself on subscription. And what the good thing is, you already have your Zinzino for free, and you even get a little bonus for that. So it is very easy to get started that way. Step 1, Ultimate Partner Kit. This is your working material. The Partner Kit is not there for you to eat it up at home together with your family. This is your working material. And we tell you in the training how you work with that pack to get a lot of customers and a lot of partners. Second step, Zinzino for free. No brainer, because it's for free. Third step, get on your products on a monthly base and get your loved ones on the products on a monthly base. And then you're set for life. Then you're set for life. Then you can start working this incredible compensation plan with a very, very simple system. And I will explain the first steps to you of that system. It's called 2+4. 2+4 is what we duplicate, and 2+4 describes the Fast Start program. We have a Fast Start program that spans over a time period of 120 days. You don't need 120 days to go through the Fast Start program. You actually probably need only 12 days or 30 days, but you have 120 days to go through the Fast Start program. It's 4 steps, and each step can take 30 days more. So step number 1, first 30 days, they look like this, and it's very easy. Step number 1, you start with your starter pack, you activate your Zinzino for free, and you do your first 4 customer points. Now, I told you this before a few minutes ago, and now I share with you that you have 30 days for that. To my mind, you need 30 minutes for that, because it's all about yourself, to set yourself up properly in the system when you're serious about the business. And this already gives you €100 of a so-called Q-Team bonus plus 10% cash bonus on the products that you have subscribed to. But you don't need to do it yourself. You can do it inside your family, you can do it with your friends, or you can even look for customers out there. It's totally up to you. But my recommendation is, if you're not your first, best, and most loyal customer, probably you're not going to find many others who buy into what you tell them, because they don't buy into what you tell them, they buy into what you do yourself and what you believe in it. And the deeper you believe and the more you are convinced, the more other people will follow you. It's just a simple principle, and this applies here incredibly well. So that's step number 1, 30 minutes. Step number 1. Now here with step number 2. Now we start building our team. And the step number 2, the task is enroll your first 2 people. So you enroll one person and the other person. And the only thing you do with these 2 people is to start them exactly the same way like you started. You explain to them the starter kit and what they do with it. You activate their Zinzino for free on checkout. And then, of course, you teach them how to get 4 customer points, whether they do it themselves or whether they find real customers. It's up to you. It's up to them. But actually, they need to do these 4 customer points. And since it took 30 minutes with you, it might take only 30 minutes with Sam. So very quickly, you will have your 2 customers in place. And what it does, it gives you €400 Fast Start bonus once you completed this simple task. Very easy to do. And some nice money, because you already now, in total, have made €500 altogether. You have 60 days for that. Well, we need less. We agree, okay? Step number 3. Step number 3 is duplication. Now you help these 2 people to enroll their 2 people by explaining them the same thing and by helping them to do the same thing that you just did with them. So if you've done that, you will earn another €1,200 Fast Start bonus, which now is adding up to €1,700 Fast Start bonus. And this is where it becomes interesting, because you actually can do this in a few days. It doesn't need 90 days. You can do it in a few days, and it's some nice money for a starter, okay? And the fourth step in the last 30 days of the 120-day period is getting yourself to X team. X team stands for X10 Roman number. X means 10 customer points, because you've been sharing the entire time, you've been sharing the concept with people, and some will become your partner, but some will become your customer. So you add up customer points on subscription. Maybe you've even done it in your household. Maybe you've done it with your family. Maybe you've done it workplace. Maybe you've done it with your friends. It's totally up to you. But over that period of time, when you ambitiously speak to people, you will have people who want this product. And it's actually happening automatically, yeah, that the 10 customer points start adding up. And this gives you another 150 euro so-called X-Team bonus. And the total fast start bonus then has added up to 1,850 euros, which is a good start for somebody who aims to do it in a month, maybe in 2 weeks. It's up to you. But if you work with us and you are part of our very dynamic, strong team, we give you the task and help you to do it in 2 to 4 weeks maximum. And that's a nice starting money, because not only this, you will have some other 650 euros approximately in commissions from the bonuses that you're unlocking on that journey already. Because the compensation plan with the 10 different bonuses, you remember what I told you, is already unlocking some of the bonuses that add up to the fast start money. So in total, you have made 2,500 euros. And if you do it within a week altogether, it even becomes 3,800 euros. If you do it in months, it's 3,200 euros. And if you do it the full scope, it's the 2,500 euros. So just look at this key duplication card. That's our key card for duplication. If you look at this card, all you have to do is on this little card, that's all you duplicate, and you've made your first few thousand euros within Zinzino, and then you just show others how to do the same, and you're going to jumpstart your business. Now, if you want to follow up on this thing, the only thing you need to do in the back office, which is very powerful, one of the most sophisticated back office I've ever seen in my 32-year career in this industry, you just follow the donuts. For every step, 1, 2, 3, 4, what you can see here on that slide, you see one step, and the moment you complete the step, the whole donut turns green, and then you can pursue what's needed on the other donut. So it's even a guidance for people who have no clue how the engine works, because they just need to follow what's written in the cockpit. It's like having a sophisticated car. You can drive your car with a lot of fun and a lot of talent, but you do not have to understand what happens under the hood. You just have to, in a smart way, for not being in danger, or for being sure that the car is intact, and for not making sure you break too many of the rules out there in traffic, you have to watch your cockpit and follow what the instructions on the cockpit. But then you can become a good driver. And the same happens here. For those of you who want to know a little more how to build their teams on the left side, on the right side, because that's all we do. Of course, we also have a brochure here, a very sophisticated brochure that gives you all the details on how all the different bonuses apply and what is needed to unlock those during the path of your journey. And this is the journey. So, but also what the system offers is a 200 euro phone bonus and a 1,000 euro car bonus and some amazing trips. And no matter what it is, as I said before, you can follow these donuts. You have donuts for qualification points when it comes to the travels, and we do amazing travel. I'll show you in a minute. You can see the donuts when it comes to your payouts, weekly and monthly, how the payment works. And you can also have donuts and watch donuts when it comes to your next rank. So always follow the donuts in the back office, and you know exactly what your next step is. It is so easy to follow. What they have built there is just amazing. So this was a little bit an impression and a duplication model of how we work the compensation plan, especially for those people who are new starters. And I'm sure you would agree that the numbers we showed in euro is a nice start money, because in some countries here in Europe, this is already more than a full-time income. 2 months ago, we had one of the director incentive trips with over 700 people from all the Zinzino countries, from all across the world. Everybody was a director or a top team 200, meaning they have 200 customer points. They are once invited a year in a 5-star resort. And what's interesting is Zinzino always books the entire resort. So every person in this resort is a Zinzino partner. We own this place for a full week. Last year was my first trip. We were in Mexico, Playa del Carmen, in the Grand Hyatt 5-star resort, amazing trip. This year, we've been to the Secrets Lanzarote Resort and Spa, top 5-star resort again. Next year, we are going to go to Phuket in the Angsana Laguna Phuket 5-star resort. Amazing. And hopefully you're with us, because the qualification requirement is not so hard to do. And we have until year's end to qualify for the next trip. Now, if you improve a little more and you get into the ambassador ranks, you will become part of the so-called ambassador trip, which we do in fall. So the directed trip is every spring and the ambassador trip is every fall. So twice a year, we go on a vacation with the company, which is uncompared to how most people do their vacations. It is super, super luxury. And this trip I'm very much looking forward to in September. We go to the La Bobadilla, Andalusia, with the entire top management and founders from Zinzino. It's a leading hotel of the world. It's going to be 4 or 5 days. It's going to be amazing and wonderful. I can't wait what the future holds for us. Next to all the cash flow, next to all the income, next to making amazing money, this is a life journey here. And you need to understand that there's so much benefit of what this company offers an individual or an entire family or generations to come within a family. It is the financial stability, financial independence. It is super great health, probably much more as if you wouldn't eat the products at all, because you will be in an amazing health condition. You will be fit and you don't have to worry and you are fully focused. You will hear more about that on Thursday. And of course, it's a lot of experience and sightseeing around the world with amazing, like-minded people, which are very enriching when it comes to your social contacts. Let me say it like this. I could have expressed that better, but that was the best I can do tonight. You know what I mean. So remember that person introduced by Danny, Paul St. Pilzer. He said, in order to create $1 billion and beyond company, you need 3 steps. Identify a serious problem that affects a lot of people. We have shown you a problem that around the world affects 97% of the entire Earth population. Find or create an efficient and cost-effective solution to this problem. We have a solution that within 120 days gets 95% for less than 40 euros back in balance. And we are ahead of times because we are approximately, when it comes to test-based nutrition, 10 years ahead of any of our competition. And this also shows and reflects in the numbers. If you look at the year's end report, meanwhile, we have 2023, amazing growth. Everything is very transparent. The company is debt-free and cash-rich. So it's a super solid foundation where we can really put our future into their hands. And when it comes to the successes in our entire teams, we have had a lot of people who were able to make a solid full-time income, which is 4,000 to 5,000 or beyond a month. We've got almost 200 people who accomplished that task, and we have close to 50 people who are making over 10,000 a month already in less than 2 years. So this whole thing does work. We have a rock solid base of over 30,000 customers. I think Cash and his organization is about 2 or 3 times as big. So ours is going to follow. We have amazing growth ahead of all of us, ahead of everyone who is inside Zinzino. So the question to you remains, are you willing to reserve your own seat in the front row? Because that's the only place in the future where you will be able to let your dreams come true. Thank you so much for tonight. Giving back to Danny for the last words, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you very much, Cash and Sven. It was a pleasure to have both of you on this call. I think all of the people who for the first time joined us will agree, and the people that know the company, probably you have learned 1 or 2 or 3 things more tonight. We're going to have Thursday evening, same time, 8:30 p.m., our Products Thursday, where Cash will take the honors completely alone. As he is a doctor, he's the best positioned person to explain all about our products in detail. And like Sven said earlier on, well, I'm a little bit the same. When anybody asks me a question about the products, I'll just send them a video. I might send them to Cash in the future. Well, I'm going to first sign them up and then send them to Cash, you know. So thank you very much for listening. Hope you will bring a lot of people on Thursday. And after Thursday, we're also going to have our Saturday fast start training at 11 o'clock in the morning for everybody that signed up in the business and wants to learn how to get going. Thank you. I'm called on another call in 1 minute exactly. See you soon, my friends. Thank you all. Bye-bye.